Good morning, everybody. It is Jillian. So, this is my daily update so you understand what it's like in the day in the life of a person who is basically healed and sealed on the JJ juice, adapting to a very, very, very dynamic environment. And the fact that there is so much energy out there, like so much, like even my dog feels it yet again. Um, if you don't have to be out there, I suggest you kind of chill out at home and do the JJ mentality and eat and heal because I tell you what, this energy will chip away at you, vectored or not, because um, especially for those, those that have to work and on the JJ, you understand what you have to do. You're gonna have to balance out your lifestyle. But those that are like not doing the JJ and you think the world is still the same, it's crazy. It's not, because the amount of energy. So when you're vectored, okay, your immune system is still being activated. And so when your immune system is still being activated, that's still energy that is being taken away from your substance. It's like your lifespan being cut short. Yeah, you could be um, uh, eating food, but remember, evolution is necessary. You can't be in a cured state or a cured state of decline. So feeling something and releasing and all that stuff is necessary in an evolving environment because, I mean, the only way that you can really get away with not feeling anything, okay, is if you weren't around people and you were eating food and you were basically healed and sealed. And that's exactly what it's like in my house right now after I get over this second bout or third bout or fifth bout of being exposed to another variant. Because I was out yesterday just for a second going to the gas station. Okay? So when you're vectored, your body is in a cured state of decline. And if you don't feel anything and you're out and about, your immune system is still going to be working against you. You could be doing the J juice, but doing the J juice and being vectored every time that you go out, so you don't have to feel anything. This is where it gets tricky with the J juice. The J juice and the vector will work against you if you continue to use it over a long period of time so you can go out and do all your little fun things in this crazy environment. Okay? So that's someone vectored using J juice as a cure so they can still be on their game and do whatever. When someone's not vectored and they're out, the only way they can be out is to use JJ as a cure, which then will put them in a cured state of decline, because the body is not allowed to evolve, and that salt, even though it's curing the cells from replicating that are exposed to a new virus, then also the amount of salt over time will also take away the substance. Okay? Because your body is going to want to evolve. You can't stop life. Life will happen, or death will happen. One of the two. And when your body tries to evolve, and the energy is trying to evolve on a body that doesn't have what it takes, yeah, that's why death happens. Now, when you're at home, like I said, when you're at home, either you're vectored or not. Or yeah, maybe you might wear a mask out there. I didn't wear a mask out there. You could be in a relatively cured state, but not really, because you'll still feel stuff, but not to the level and to the extent of what you would if you were around even like 5 people. But yeah, yesterday I went to the gas station or the convenience store or whatever, and I'm telling you, holy crap. Came home and I told you I smelled onions. I smelled onions. Like I smelled onions. It was crazy. And so, and then yeah, my dog felt something in the middle of the night. I was coughing in the middle of the night, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is insane. But that's the thing, is that once I get over this and I stay in my house, I won't be communicable. Right now I'm communicable. If I were to go out right now, I'd be communicable because I'm still coughing out mucus. You can hear it in my throat. Okay, so I'll get over this and whatever, fine. But I wouldn't go out there. So me going out there, not vectored, not, using J juice like a lot, I would still be dealing with so much energy, but I would have to keep feeding that energy to keep up with the level of this dynamic environment. Okay? It's possible, but it's exhausting. Okay? I wouldn't, if I was working, I don't know how you guys do it when you're working, but I give you a lot of props. Those are working with the public with all of your issues and having to deal with all of this. Because, me just going out there, not vectored, not masked, and not even doing J juice as a cure, because I don't need to do J juice as a cure. I'm already fine. I just eat the food supply and deal with the environment in small doses. But me going out there around even like a few people, holy shit. It was pretty crazy. There's a lot of freaking variants out there. So I say, this is the thing. There's energy out there. There's so much energy in the crowds of people. There's so much of it. And people are being cannibalized. Yeah, you're having a great time. Yeah, you don't feel anything. But that's the whole freaking point, is to not feel anything. And then all of a sudden, bam, vital organ shutdown. For those that don't have really the substance to handle that amount of energy. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. And then this is where the aging process is accelerated, because the amount of the amount of energy and the lack of substance, and then people don't want to feel pain. Because remember, those that are on the J juice all the time, even though they've been on it for the last 4 years, they don't want to feel pain. Those that are on their pills, powder supplements, and detoxes and vectors, they don't want to feel pain. And so what's the most amazing cure in the world is to program your immune system to attack itself when new evolution comes in. So that way you don't feel shit when you're out there. So you can party it up and yuck it up and not feel anything and think everything is great and laugh at those that are staying at home, quitting life, right? Which is completely the opposite. And then one day you just fall over. Oh, people are like, well, that's supposed to happen. Why should I live my life in fear and quit my life? No, it's understanding the physics around the immune system and physics around the environment. And you can still enjoy your life without, destroying yourself. I mean, that's the thing, is people think self-destruction is living. That's the irony about today's world, is that fighting for your lifestyle that destroys you is called living in our life. Fighting for a lifestyle. Sorry, but that's the mucus. That's how you get everything out. I know it's gross. I used to almost throw up, and my sister would do it. But I understand now the necessity. But yeah. So anyways, fighting for your lifestyle that is cannibalizing you is today's version of living. Living to freaking die. So anyways, I know I sound very morbid, but I wanted to give you and this is what I was looking for, was I wanted to give you a blow-by-blow of my exposure to the environment in September, when the energy is high, when the variants are high, because of the kids in school, the refugees coming to our town, all the different parties from the summer and Labor Day weekend celebrations, and everyone just thinking everything is like normal. And what else? And then well, it's not getting any colder yet. It's still freaking hot. But when the season starts getting colder and everyone is moving inside, that's going to be the kicker. That's going to be the freaking kicker. Right now, everyone's outside because it's hot outside. That's a stay of freaking execution. That's a stay of execution. Just wait till it gets colder. And people are then hanging out indoors. Like a lot of people. They don't want to be home watching Netflix, in the cold. They want to be with all their friends out there at wherever. Or, having dinners together, or having, Halloween parties and having Thanksgiving together and all that stuff. And they'll be communing together and mutating these viruses exponentially. If I'm feeling the variants just by going to my down the street gas station, to pick up some, I don't know, some energy drinks for me, like my coffee, Starbucks, and gum and whatever, if I can feel just by simply going there for a freaking second, just a freaking second, and then I smelled onions. It was so freaking insane smelling onions. And I felt the heat. I mean, it was such a trip. I felt the heat. And my dog did her little thing in the middle of the night. And I'm like, oh God, but she's fine. She gets up afterwards. She doesn't like lay there like she used to. Now she's like, oh, okay. That was just a little episode. And then she goes downstairs, says, I want to go outside and go pee again. Because she peed in the bed again. But every new variant that she gets exposed to, that I get exposed to, that my husband gets exposed to, she gets exposed to, and her body has to go through that electrical shock. So what she goes through as far as the electrical shock is what's doing like a pinball. And I feel all that my immune system start activating. And then, yeah, I'm hungry. And I ate like 2 filet mignons last night, and I had a bunch of broccoli. Okay? So I was pretty hungry last night. And then now I'm sleeping in this morning because I was up at 3 a.m. taking my dog out because she went through her episode. And all the viral evolution happens at night. That's why people pass away in the middle of the night, because their body doesn't have what it takes to go through that evolution and reparations. And so I'm telling you, this shit's no joke, and it's only going to get freaking worse. And oh my gosh, I totally see it. I see it and I feel it, and this is exactly what I wanted to confirm in September. That's why my book is not out yet, because I knew there's a lot more that needs to be said. Oh, a whole lot freaking more. And yes, salt has a curative effect. Chili juice will be the catalyst. Salt is also a catalyst to evolution, and it wakes up latent viruses in your body. So that's why you feel the energy of the symptoms. Why some people experience more symptoms than others, because they have a lot of weaknesses in their vital organs, and so they're going to have to deal with shit that they have tried to suppress for the last however many years, or they have predispositions. That's why some people feel heart attacks when they are around a virus, like a new virus, or they die from a heart attack, or they activate their immune system with salt or other things, and then new viruses wake up. Well, not new viruses, old viruses that were put to sleep wake up, and then they start doing what they're supposed to do. Upgrading the heart, the lungs, the liver, the pancreas, the brain, and that's why you get the headaches, and that's why I feed the headaches with meat. And so that's why eating food, all food, will feed the energy of the viruses, so the energy of the viruses don't cannibalize you. That's the whole point of this whole JJ, is the fact that the JJ mentality is you eat and you feed the viruses and you feel the pain and you release. And I've been giving my dog milk lately as an additional, so I'll be eating some cereal and I'll give her the leftover milk. And milk has the iron and the amino acids. So it has the metals, the iron, the minerals, the iron, the amino acids. It has the fat. Milk also supplies your storage proteins for reserves. And so, yeah, when you have a skinny person, they need to freaking drink some milk and eat some ice cream. Oh no, but they're vegan and vegetarian. Oh no, you are starving yourself if you're a vegan and vegetarian. I'm going to tell you that. Oh my God. And so lately I've been giving my dog milk to also help her through this active environment. Not that it's a remedy, it's going to be part of her diet. I mean, I give her coconut oil at night. I give her food, like she eats only when I eat. So when I eat, then she'll eat. So I'm giving her all my leftovers. I'm not saying it's expensive feeding her, but it's like having another child, because she likes diversity in her food. She doesn't want to have the same thing every single day like I do. I can eat the same thing every single day with a little bit of change. But she loves the pasta. She loves the meat sauce. She likes the steak, which I do have steak for her tonight because we had them last night. We have hot dogs, gourmet hot dogs from a local butcher. Okay? I mean, we have it all, and she eats the same things that we eat. No, she doesn't eat grapes or raisins or chicken bones. She doesn't really like chicken unless it's seasoned with other stuff. But I don't give her any T-bones unless I take the meat off. Okay? So I'm very smart about what I give my dog. All right. I'm not just giving her any old thing. And then those that don't understand what dogs need to be fed, as far as certain things they need to stay away from, then Google it. But anytime you look up like, oh God, is milk good for an animal? Yeah, they are. But if you feel that if you think that your dog's gonna get pancreatitis and obesity from the milk, it's most likely your dog is already predisposed to issues and they're electrolyte deficient. All animals are electrolyte deficient. All of them. So are humans. That's why humans are aging with cancer, disease, and chronic illness, because they're sodium deficient, they're nutritionally deficient. And so it messes with all of their 11 different systems, and they don't work at full capacity, which is why they're depending upon the government or intermediaries to help them through until there's nothing left. That's why people are so dependent on the system, is because they are so malnourished and sodium deficient. Because they're too afraid to feel pain. They're too afraid to eat all the food in the food supply. And they're political against the food supply. And they've fallen into the whole vegan, vegetarian, non-GMO political organizations that feed upon their emotions because they know they're working at a deficit. So it's easy to manipulate a person who is at a deficit. That's why I said, you want to change the world? First, you got to get them balanced so they're not exhibiting depression, cancer, disease, chronic illness, autoimmune disorders, criminal behavior, psychopathic stuff, sociopathic stuff. I have a list of things of why I'm pushing for this evolution of change of the J juice, and then understanding pain, and then also understanding the food supply. Because I'm tired of dealing with the criminals in our society. I'm tired of dealing with alcoholics, with drug addicts, with people who are bullies, with constant victims, with empaths that use their whatever to manipulate. I'm tired of all the freaking unbalanced people. We have unbalanced children who turn into unbalanced adults. And how do you get a balanced adult? Well, you intervene when they're a freaking child. Oh, but you can't talk to my child. My child's freaking perfect, right? These are all the mothers out there. That's why it's very difficult to talk about children, because then all the the mama bears out there are going to defend their kid like they're freaking God. But then look at the parents. They got issues. Well, if you have issues, parents, you don't want to deal with them, what do you think is going to happen with your kid? They're going to turn just like you, and even more so. Oh, but I want that. Okay. Then you look at grandma and grandpa and down the line. And so when people exploit their children, when people leverage their children so no one can say anything about the parents or how they raise them or anything about lifestyle, that's how you shut people up, is you exploit the children and you leverage them. So you don't say anything about anything, and you can't penetrate that homogenous thought process and unit. And that's how children are being exploited in our society. They're used to actually stilt evolution. Even though the irony is that children are evolution, they've been brainwashed and homogenized in our society. I'm not even saying the family, because the family is just another, extension of the society. But the educational system, the government, all of authority have, yes, I understand that we need uniformity, but there's also, you can have uniformity with evolutionary potential. But no, we have so much, people in authority in the educational system and in the government that make sure you don't get the information that you need to evolve. And they will try to scare you away from it. Oh, just look what happened in the last 4 years of my life. The Dr. Phil show and all the different journalists out there with all their degrees and high levels of freaking colleges, MIT, Stanford, freaking, I don't know, Yale, Harvard, what else? Maybe Cambridge and Oxford. Oh God, salt is poison, or you're gonna hurt somebody. These are freaking, you're supposed to be college graduates with some kind of ounce of intelligence, PhDs, and they're telling everyone that salt is poison. So there is an intentional campaign to misdirect you from your evolution, and then using your kids as leverage, and then then teaching you how to use your kids as leverage to control people around you. And I've had it done to me personally. I've had it done to me as a kid. I've had people use their kids as leverage to shut me up or to tell me that they don't like what I'm doing or whatever. Oh, well then, why do you want to be around my kid then if you feel this way, type of thing. Oh, I've had it done to me all over the place. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm so done with parents and people and society doing this number on themselves, on their friends and their family and our world. And I'm just like, okay, maybe now it's time to figure out your own evolution and start intervening so your kids don't end up like you, dealing and suffering from predispositions, and it's going to be only exponential in this environment. Oh, it will be only exponential. So if I feel it, imagine a child who's like 20 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, whatever, and the parents don't even, acknowledge that this is going on. And they're just like, oh yeah, everything's normal. We'll have a big family gathering. Everybody come over. That's why I'm staying home. I'm staying safe. I see the evidence in my world, and my world is very, I have very minimal contact with the outside world. Very minimal contact. It's relegated to my neighbor, nice dude, relegated to, me going to the grocery store every so often, and then maybe my husband will get me out there because he's out there every day. He might get me on a boat. But then when I'm on a boat, then I'm going to different places. Well, not necessarily, but if he gets me out there shopping with him for accessories and stuff, then I'll be out there taking it all in. And that's when I'll tell you, hey, here I feel it again. So I have a very sensitive barometer to the fluctuations of the environment. And when you finally do the J juice, you will too. Because yeah, people feel stuff when they have arthritis, when the seasons change. Okay, so that's their body telling them their body's trying to heal, and the seasons are then the catalyst because the change in the viral environment, and I'm sure the moon phases too, and all the different fluctuations in the universe are also affecting, because you hear people say, oh my God, what is it? Mars is in retrograde. I feel the heat. And I'm just like, yeah, we all know everyone's going to be affected by different phases of everything. Some more than others, some less than others. Others will recognize it. Like I felt very energetic. And very this viral energy does influence and enhance and accelerate your intentions and your predispositions. And so if you are believing that people should die and you don't think this virus really is something to think about, and you, don't want to change your lifestyle, then the energy is only going to accelerate your beliefs. Which means that if you're already a deficit, the gaps in your nutrition and everything are become wider and wider and wider and wider. That's the thing about development, is the gaps in child development have become wider and wider and wider because the parents don't understand viral energy or know how to feed their kid in a way that makes sense, or how to deal with the evolutionary symptoms. And so what happens is the parents actually still and stagnate the child's evolution and growth process because of the way they react to symptoms, and the fact that some of these parents are dieting themselves and then withholding food from their kids for whatever reason, for political reasons. So so that's the thing, is the energy is going to enhance those intentions. And so if you already have gaps in your development and gaps in your nutrition, they're just going to get wider with more energy. And if you are fulfilling the gaps, like with the JJ mentality, like me, I feel the energy, but I just deal with it and I blow my nose. You hear me hawking loogies, right? And I feed the energy. And so there'll be no gaps in my evolution. There'll be no gaps in my development, because you will always develop in this society. There's constant learning in this society. I have not even scratched the surface of all the knowledge in the world. The internet has every bit of knowledge out there, and you have to go and pick and choose right now with what you're working on to make sure that what you're working on has the information that is relevant. And then when you want to start on new information, you go out and look for new stuff, and then you compound it on the stuff that you have now. And that's what I've been doing the last 4 years, is compounding my information and substantiating everything that I have been talking about. Okay? Like seriously, salting in and salting out. There's no reason to do the vectors. There's no reason to do, unless you understand the salt. But if you don't understand salt, then yeah, you got to turn to a vector. If you don't understand antibiotic and probiotic, then yeah, you got to turn to a vector and all the antibiotics to stop the evolution and stop the pain and the energy, but then you destroy yourself. And I see that too. People are like, oh yeah, instead of doing a vector, do a list of all these different herbs and supplements and detoxes. And I'm just like, and I was really gentle. I wasn't like, super like whatever, but I said, salt has been proven as a curative effect. You can use salt to gargle if you really want to help your throat. Okay, and it will neutralize cancer cells. Yes, it will neutralize the virus cells in your ear, nose, and throat. So you can also pop a negative on a spit test. And you don't have to you don't have to deal with all this crap. All the different remedies that have been researched with PubMed to show that it has a therapeutic effect against the COVID. You destroy COVID with whatever, whether it's a therapeutic or some kind of herb or pharmaceutical. You destroy your own evolution because you can't get away from freaking COVID. It is in your environment. It is everywhere. It is every person out there has some form of it, and they are sending off little mucus RPGs everywhere, and you're going to breathe them in. It's inevitable. It's in the freaking air. So you try to destroy COVID, you are destroying yourself. And that's what is going on. Those that want to destroy their feelings of pain and want to program their body to attack itself with mRNA, hey, you believe people should die. So guess what? The system is going to grant your wish. Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. And so when you're all out there yucking it up and you're all vector with your passports, yucking it up out there with 5,000 people at a concert, and you're like, I don't feel anything. Just like someone who's been on the J juice forever and can't feel shit, and they're going to be in a cured state of decline and the crypt keeper. Guess what? Your body is then cannibalizing substance more than you probably can more than you're able to regenerate. Because when those are on the J juice and they're vectored, they're not going to really be hungry. So you can be vectored and still feel stuff. That's why I say wear a mask, right? Because they said the vectors aren't 100%. You might even have breakthrough infection. But how someone will try to then go on top of that is then also use the J juice on top of it so they don't have to feel anything. So now they're out there not hungry, not evolving, vectored and on the J juice. And they're like, yeah, everything's great. Everything's wonderful. And then you see them 5 years later. Oh, you don't see them 5 years later because they don't exist anymore. Because guess what? They're in a cured state of a decline. And that decline happened very fast because they never changed their lifestyle. They never changed their belief system. They never changed the way they looked at the J juice. They stopped evolving because they wanted to have all the fun. Okay, well, that comes with a price. The devil does take his due. The devil doesn't give away all that pleasure for free. I'll tell you what. So if getting a vector or doing the J juice affords you to have all the privileges in the world, that comes at a price. And again, the devil takes his due. Everything comes full circle. It's about balance. But most people out there who want to yuck it up and live it up as if there's no tomorrow and whatever, don't understand balance. They don't really, they're inconsiderate of themselves as well as their kids, as well as their community. They don't want to teach anyone else anything new or different. No, because it's all about their fun and their lifestyle and their belief systems. And that's all that freaking matters. That's it. And so I see that too. So I'm just like, whatever. And that's why I had that long list of this is why we need to evolve. Because imagine with those 40 items or whatever, 7 billion people exhibit one or more of those characteristics. And you really think that things need to change? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah, things need to change. And it's happening. And so an unbalanced person will exhibit all those characteristics. And yeah, even people on the JJ will exhibit those characteristics because they will overuse JJ and abuse it because they want to be in the game. That's called being inconsiderate. All right, bye.